I think that's something that like I'm really learning about myself. When something is truly impactful, strong, life-changing, it doesn't take much. And I don't have to say but so many words. We have slogans in Al-Anon. 3 little fucking words that can literally change your entire day and perspective on a situation that sound cliche. Probably are cliche, but cliche had to come from somewhere. And so, and I think about that, like, even with the highly sensitive person, with this, like, yeah, it's funny that like these 2 books are like, that speaks to our personalities.
And you're the athlete. And isn't that what you know about yourself? You know, and you're the champion. And this is how, this is how it's speaking to you. It's beautiful. This is how you're hearing it.
Yeah, but it doesn't take much to get through when it's said in such a real, beautiful way. It doesn't take many words. And I think that's something I've been really trying to work on, which requires me to be more intentional with my words and think through what I'm really feeling and what I'm really saying. And if I can't like think through it, or if I can't find the words for it, I've gotten to a point where I've just stopped talking and I go, I don't have the words for that just yet, which is huge. Cause I think with me understanding, it don't take much for it to get through when someone's listening. So
yeah. And when it's like when it resonates, which technically means it's a vibrational match.
Yeah.
Like your vibrations matched. I watched the coolest video someone sent me on Instagram today that had this person holding a tuning fork at a certain frequency. Do you know what? Yeah. So it's like these tuning forks, they vibrate at certain frequencies. And then next to it, not touching, like maybe a foot away, was another fork of a certain vibrational frequency. And then a ping pong touching that fork suspended from a string. Mm-hmm. And the goal is to make the ping pong bounce. So first the guy comes up and the tuning fork that's near the tuning fork that's touching the ping pong ball is a different frequency than the frequency that's touching the ping pong.
Okay.
And he hits it and doesn't do anything. And then the guy brings up the tuning fork that's the same vibration as the tuning fork that's touching the ping pong ball. And even though it's not touching, it's just like a foot away, he hits it and it causes the ping pong ball to hit.
Interesting.
Which is, and the message there reminds me of what you're saying now. The message they say is that you have to be a vibrational frequency to your manifestation before you manifest it. But it's like basically you have to be like, if you want something to happen that's already touching that's already at a certain vibrational frequency, you better become that vibrational frequency.
And okay, now we're on this kick. So I'm just because the first thing I thought about as you were saying that, I was thinking about a magnet. When a magnet, and I'm curious what you think when I say this, because I never would have thought about this until you just got through saying that. I think when the magnets are both in, I don't know, whatever frequency or whatever vibration it is, where one would be pushing away and the other one would be kind of sucking in. When both of them are pushing away, I would guess they're at the same like vibrational frequency, but when some way that they both are kind of like both in tune to push away, but you can't bring them together. But for a magnet to come and stick, and one has to be in an absorbing mode, and the other one has to be in a pushing mode, to where those two come and stick together, and then it's hard to pull them apart. Like I'm curious. Now I'm just curious what you're thinking as far as that vibrational pattern kind of goes.
So I'd love to check out what the vibrations are. I don't know that part, but what you're saying about totally checks out. This is Abraham Hicks language. You have to be a receiver.
Yeah.
So you have to receive. Exactly. They call it the art of allowing, which maybe you've heard that it's basically receiving, allowing things to come in is part of the process, because if you're always pushing out you're just
and then you find two people who are like, you end up getting how me and you talking about something earlier of just like miscommunication, two people frustrated. Like, it's just like, fuck, like But if someone is in a receiving mode while the other one is in a giving mode, all right, cool. Just that now we're going to flip that around so that we can both kind of be there. Like, that's wild.
Well, and that's why it's part of, this goes back to kind of why we say the serenity prayer when we start. So when you break it down, it's higher power, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, which is other people, places, and things.
Yeah.
The courage to change the things I can, which is me, and the wisdom to know the difference. So it's like in the situation you just described, it's so powerful when we realize if there are two magnets pushing against each other and nothing's happening, and it's really friction, it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have the power to change that other magnet, but you do sure as hell have power to change your magnet. Even if it's annoying, even if you feel validated and frustrated.
Even if they're the ones that are fucking wrong.
Even if you're right. That's the crazy thing. It doesn't matter because you're still going to push against. So it's up to you. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? I guess you've heard that.
Yeah.
Now we can see it through magnets. You know, do you want to push against the other magnet or do you want to stop and be a receiver?
Man.
Or a giver or whatever it is that's the opposite of what the, that would balance the energy.